It's James Steinhubel with TVU for the student channel and the business channel. And we're here with Alina and Kyle King. Alina is a graduate student pursuing her PhD, and Kyle is a security specialist, system administrator. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. How about
Doing
yourself?
Good. How are you?
Very well, very well. So, wow, we've got a little bit of education on the go and a little bit of high tech. How are you guys handling the situation that we're in?
Well, like everyone, we've had to make some changes. Like everyone, pretty much working at home now, or studying at home. And as with my company, we've had some temporary layoffs. Probably almost a third of the company, and I'm down to working only 80% as much as I was. So, sacrifices have to be made, but I feel like one of the lucky ones. And you've been studying at home.
Yeah, it was not that difficult, but it was. It's just a different format. Like some professors, they try to do Google Meets and like try to have interaction during lectures, and some professors accommodating by recording the video and posting that, which was a little bit more difficult because whenever you have questions, it's difficult to ask right away. But actually, I really appreciate, like in this hard time, they were able to accommodate the students and do their best. So it's not the ideal situation, but we're trying to do the best with what we have.
No doubt, no doubt. So, what kind of specific things have you noticed that you're going through? I'm asking Alina because you can ask first. When you go to answer the question, give a little bit of background on what you're studying so people know why I'm asking this. But what kind of things are you going through, and how you're processing the newness of how we're living and experiencing this COVID?
Well, I study educational psychology and I'm pursuing a PhD at the University of Alberta. University of Alberta was one of the first institutions to try implement social distancing in a way. So even before province of Alberta announced that like you have to isolate yourself or have social distancing or something like that, University of Alberta already tried to do something about it. So like I would get updates almost every day, 2-3 updates. Lectures are canceled today. Professors prepare for online lectures. Lectures there are changes here, there are changes there. So like every couple of hours I would get updates from the university. From one side, I didn't feel a lot of change because with graduate studies, I only was taking 2 classes and it was almost the end of the semester. So we only had like 4 lectures, I guess, to go. So it's not a lot of change, but the change came when the interaction was taken away. The professors, they tried their best. They're like, okay, email us, phone us, like if you have any questions, we're here to help. So it was helpful, but the interaction aspect was missing. Also, they didn't, like right now when I finish my classes, they don't give out grades. And it was a little bit difficult adjustment because it impacts your GPA and it impacts the scholarships and like when you apply for some funds or something like that. So right now they're just giving out like complete, incomplete, which is, I don't know, for some students probably would decrease some motivation because as long as they meet the minimum for their grade, they get a complete one. But it didn't impact me much, but it was something that was different. Otherwise, I think it's all right. It's going pretty good right now.
Okay, and yourself, Kyle. Very interesting business that you're in. You're a security specialist for and a system administrator. What?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. What's that?
Yeah. No, I was gonna ask you a question, but so with now you're working at home, so you're a security specialist and a system administrator. So that would pose not challenges, but there'd be preparation that you would have to do and kind of environmental considerations that you would have. And then no one's at the office, no one's sitting at these stations that are processing data, in your world. What
Right.
but they're receiving data. So what, without being specific and talking in generalities, what kind of adjustments did you have to make, in the platform and in the preparedness and the response that to this new environment that we're in?
Well, in IT, it's interesting that it came at this point in time, because at this point, every business should be about set up so that employees can remote in. So it's kind of a thing that a lot of people in IT have been preparing for a while, anyways. We just didn't know exactly for what. So, like me myself, I've been able to remote into all my computers from my phone for a while now, for many different jobs that I've worked at. So the main thing is just getting everyone up and running on a remote basis now, and that can be difficult, based on if they're remoting in from their own computer on their own home network. As someone in IT now, I have to troubleshoot their personal computer or whatever is wrong with their network, and so it brings up a little bit of difficulty. It's kind of stressful in IT trying to fix other people's personal configuration issues, but other than that, it's like I said, it's something that many people in IT have been kind of getting prepared for a while now, and I mean it's sad that it's something like this, but we all have been secretly wanting to work from home for a while now. I'll say that. So that's the only good thing that came out of it at all that we see so far.
So it's the you guys were ready. That's awesome. So it's the people that are accessing the systems that you've put in place. You call it remote entry. So we're talking HMI. We're talking human machine interface. So it'd be interesting. So it's an education process that you're struggling with, and your dear wife is nearly a PhD in educational psychology. What kind of interactions would you guys share as a couple? Before I ask you how you met, I just kind of want to know how you're very advanced, and you're dealing with it, advanced concepts and training people. You, Alina, are your study. We never really got into it, but you are a crafter of questions, correct?
In a way,
Yep.
yes.
So what kind of questions and how do you guys get along in this high level professional environment?
We are one example of how opposites attract. I will say that we are very different. A lot of what she has to say obviously goes above my head in many ways, but also whenever I talk about computers, it might go over her head as well. But
I think the main thing is be a good listener. So even if you don't understand, you just like give some time and listen, and like maybe like sometimes I ask questions like what is that and what do you mean by that or something like that, and he can ask me well, I usually talk a lot, so he doesn't have to ask questions. But also like, so when he works, he has his own office, and I try to not interrupt him. We meet at lunch, maybe go for a walk or something like that. Or we used to have puzzles, so we try to work on a puzzle or something like that. And then he goes back to work. I go back to my room where I study, and we try to have this time for our own, like not interrupt each other. And being respectful of the time, being respectful of the responsibilities, and then after work, after like 4:30 or 5, get back together, like make some dinner, do something fun, and yeah.
That's so insightful. So quickly, say where you're from each, and then how you guys met. It's such a great story.
well, I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. And she is from Ukraine, but she at the time was living here in Canada, doing her schooling. And for summer, she decided to check out Nashville. And I'll let you tell it. Actually, you're
I
better.
had a family in Nashville. They had some Ukrainian and Russian background, so they invited me over for the summer. And I was looking for some friends, like to play volleyball with or be active or something like that. So I met Kyle. I was not looking for any relationship whatsoever because I knew I had to go back to Canada. I met Kyle. We never played volleyball until this day yet. But we started being friends, doing some active stuff, and by the end of the summer, he kind of got serious about the relationship. But I didn't want to go like too deep because I didn't want a long distance or anything like that.
She tried to friend zone me.
Yeah, really hard.
That's good.
I
That's
really
good.
tried to friend zone him, but we tried to give it a try. So for a year we had a long distance relationship. Well, I think for 9 months. So like whenever I had a break, I would go to Nashville for a couple of days. Then he came here for Christmas. I went there for Valentine's Day. And then when I came for another summer, like the family invited me over again. So I went there for another summer. A month after I came, he proposed.
Yay.
So yeah, is that
That's
about right?
awesome.
It was a year to the day from when we met, I
And
suppose.
then didn't wait too long. How many months before you got married?
A month later, actually,
I
because
know, it's so
well,
exciting.
because I had to finish school and we didn't want to do long distance, and the only way for him to come to Canada soon was to get married so he can get an open work permit. So we got married the month after, but then we had the wedding celebration a year after that.
Which would make your moms and dads so happy. You know what I mean? So, did you guys ever make it back to the Ukraine to
We
see your
did. We did. We went
nice?
last year, and yeah, very
Oh,
interesting trip. Very fun.
good, good. And that is in Sosnivka, Ukraine. That's
Yes.
wonderful. That's good. You know, so thank you. Such a great visit, and I really do appreciate it. And that what how I'm ending all these interviews is I'm giving people the opportunity to share something with our viewers and listeners that you feel would be helpful at this time. If you need a second to collect your thoughts, and if you'd like to, you're welcome to.
I guess what we would try to wish them, keep being patient. It's not going to be like this forever. Be supportive, especially like when there are couples or families. Be supportive with each other and be kind to one another, especially in this time. The kindness is so needed.
You have to try hard, but also you got to do what you got to do to maintain a balance. If you need to take a break, you got to do it and just take a walk. It's one thing I read is it's best to take a walk like 3 times a day, even if it's just a little bit outside of the house. I mean, don't go breaking the law and getting too close to people, but just to leave the house for just 10 minutes just to walk around for a moment, it really makes a difference compared to if you're to actually stay inside the whole time. I mean, it'll drive you nuts if you stay inside your house all day.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Alina and Kyle King, Mr. and Mrs. King, thank you so kindly. And James Steinhubel for TV. We'll see you guys next time when we have pertinent things to ask you. Is that okay?
All right. Thanks, James.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye now.
Have a good one.
Yeah.